Hello guys, welcome to Redditor's Revenge. Here we post amazing revenge stories daily, and if you want more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and stay tuned with us. Moving to today's first story, about a revenge OP took on her cheating husband and her disloyal friend. Now story. My once perfect life fell apart in a day. I could not believe that the person I loved so much was dying of kidney failure, and it was just a few months before our wedding. I felt like life was not being fair to me once again and that I did not deserve an ounce of happiness. So, when I found out there was a chance that I could save him, all I could think about was his fate. I met Isaac when I was going through a very rough patch with my mental health. We met at a work event, where different branches of our company were meeting, and we immediately hit it off. We exchanged numbers and quickly became friends, but I was not interested in him romantically, even though he did ask to take me out if he ever came back to town. My best friend Marie urged me to go out with him and said I would be stupid not to. Marie and I had been friends for over 20 years, and she had proven over and over again that I could trust her, so I was like, why not? I did not expect to fall for him, but when we went on a date I felt this instant connection with him, but I was scared that it would not work out since we lived in different cities. But he proved just how serious he was about me when he resigned and moved to my city. After 7 years of dating, we were engaged with the support of our family. But not long after that, he frequently got sick, until I urged him to go to the doctor. All the plans we made and the bright future we thought we would have were not so bright anymore, because he was dying from kidney failure. The organ transplant list was very long and the chances of him getting an organ from there were low. They could only keep him on dialysis for so long before his health could start deteriorating. You have no idea how I felt, knowing that I was going to lose someone whom I wanted to get married to in a few months. With a heavy heart, I informed my family that this was what was happening, and they all came to support me. They also came to do tests to see if they were a match to be his donor. But it was pointless because we were disappointed so many times as they did not match. But I had sent in my sample, hoping for just a chance that we were a match and I would be able to save him, because seeing him getting weaker every day was killing me. I remember the relief that washed through me when I found out that I was going to be able to save him. I was the first person to go to him to tell him the news. But he thought that once again there was no match and seemed to have accepted that he was dying. I interrupted him when he was about to tell me something important because I was not ready for any goodbyes. The way I was so happy, I had already sent word to resume the wedding arrangements. We had to postpone the arrangements because we did not know how long he had. The doctors said that without a transplant, he would not have a lot of time left. But my prayers had been answered because I believed that now I would be able to get married to the love of my life. A man who had never lied to me, cheated or disrespected me. Well, that is what he made me believe so that I would save his life. He was so relieved beyond anything that I could imagine. And we let his whole family know that we would go through with the surgery in a few days and then get married as soon as he recovered. Like any person, the first person I told outside of my family about this was my best friend Marie. Marie had been my rock throughout the whole ordeal and had been staying up to date on his health. But something was bothering Marie when I told her the news, because she started asking me about the health implications and what if I did not survive the surgery, which was a complete change of tune from the reaction she had a few days ago when there was a chance that I was a match. It was important what she thought of the people that I had in my life. She had saved me from multiple disastrous relationships after all, so I wanted to get to the bottom of this. She was best friends with Isaac and had even wanted to donate her kidney if she was found to be a match. She had not been having any concerns about her health then, so why was she asking me if I wanted to make such a big commitment? There was something off about her. She was on edge and had that look on her face like she wanted to tell me something. I decided to cheer her up by letting her know that the wedding had been moved up, and she surprised me by letting me know that she already knew. I asked how and she said Isaac told her. I did not put it to mind because they chatted often. I ended up leaving in a downer mood than the mood I was in earlier, worried about my friend. Then, the next day, there was a nurse who kept on looking at me when I came in. When I told her that I was here to see my fiancé, she had a shocked expression on her face, and asked if I was not his sister because his fiancé visited the previous night. I was starting to get upset that she would think that I was my fiancé's sister, but soon it was all revealed. She said that she did not want to introduce herself, and she understood if I did not believe her, but she felt that she had to tell me. At first, she thought I was the girl visiting him at night because I looked like her, but the nurse saw how different we looked and assumed I was Isaac's relative instead. She said that she had seen a woman who came to visit him mostly at night, and it seemed something was going on with them. She got another nurse who came to tell me that she had caught my fiancé kissing another girl, but they were not sure if it was his girlfriend or not. I felt they had it all twisted. Isaac would never cheat after 7 years together. I felt that they made a mistake because he was the most loyal person I knew, and I was going to prove to them that my fiancé was the most loyal. The nurse said that she was just trying to warn me, but if I did not believe her, then I had to come back to the hospital later on at night. I did not normally visit at night because I would have worked the following day, so I usually stuck to the afternoon. I felt guilty for even doubting him in the first place when he was the most loyal person ever, but I had to prove that he was a loyal man. So later that night, I went to the hospital a few minutes after the time this girl usually came in. The feeling of dread as I went to his room was too much for me. I did not know what I was going to do if I found out that he was cheating on me. I opened his door without knocking and found a woman leaning over him and kissing him. It was not a friendly kiss or an embrace that could easily be mistaken for a kiss, they were kissing. I immediately pulled the girl off him and was about to slap her when I saw her face. Of all the people in the world, my best friend was cheating on my fiancé. I lost all the power that I had at that point and ran out of the room. I was crying by the time I saw the nurse who had warned me. She must have seen that I was close to fainting because she got me to take a seat and fetch some water for me. To this day, I am glad that she said something and pulled me out of the fairytale land I was living in. And as for Marie, she made the pain even worse. I would have survived being cheated on, but not when the person who betrayed me was the one I trusted more than any man. Marie knew all there was to know about me. We would both drop everything just to help each other, so I failed to understand when she thought it was okay to betray me like that. While I was having a moment, Marie came to ask me if we could talk. The nurses offered to have her escorted out, but I told them that it was okay and they could go back to their jobs. The first thing I did was ask how long she had been dating Isaac. She started crying and saying that she was so sorry and did not mean to hurt me. I told her to stop before she made me angrier than I already was, and to tell me the truth. That was the least I deserved after years of being loyal to her. She started crying, saying that she could not help it. She had fallen in love with him and he loved her. How could they both do that to me, stand in the same room as me while in love with each other? I just wanted it to be a bad dream, but the longer I sat there and listened to her, the more I realized just how stupid I had been. She claimed that she did not want to hurt me. What if I had married him, or he left me at the altar for her? How was my heart supposed to forgive the ultimate betrayal? The answer was that I could not. I told her to never speak to me ever again. Our friendship was over. She begged me to still save his life despite all he had done. What gave her the right to tell me what to do with my body? If she thought that I was going to give a part of myself to someone who had just broken my heart, she was damn wrong. I went to see him one last time, to look him in the eyes as I told him that I knew everything that he had done, and I was not going to save him. If he was meant to live, then he was going to get a kidney from someone else. Every word that came out of his mouth hurt me. He said that he still loved me despite everything, and she had been a mistake. He said that he wanted to tell me all about it when he thought he was going to die. But when I told him that I was a match, he thought it was a second chance for us, so he broke it off with Marie. That explained how on edge and unsupportive she had been. I told him that maybe she was a match for him and would save his life, but my heart would never allow me to make such a sacrifice for him. He looked very defeated and said that he did not think I would save him when I found out. He was the one lying in that hospital bed, but I was the one dying on that day. I was in a state of emotional distress and confusion, and all I could think of was that the two people I loved the most in the world had betrayed me. Mourning a breakup is painful, but add a friendship to that and it is the worst pain in the world. They both tried to call me, but I blocked both their numbers. As far as I knew, they were dead to me. I had already let the doctor know that I had a change of heart about the surgery, so it was not long before I got messages from his family harassing me about the decision that I made. Never mind the fact that he had been lying to me for how long. They still felt that I owed it to him to save his life. On top of how I was feeling, they called me all the bad words possible, saying that I was going to hell for condemning their son to death. They said that I had to put my anger aside for now and think about how his life was in my hands. But they did not understand. I wanted nothing to do with him. Giving him a part of me, when he did not even deserve it, was going to bind him to me forever, and I was going to remember how it felt when I found out. At a time like that, I knew there was only one person who would help me make the right decision, because now doubts were entering my mind. What if they were right and I was going to be responsible for his death? I called my mom and let her know everything that happened, and she was furious. My family backed me up in any decision that I was going to make. They said that I owed Isaac nothing after he had toyed with my heart. Before we even said our vows, I was fulfilling the vows of sickness and in health. I was willing to spend nights at the hospital waiting on his health, give him my kidney and marry him, not knowing how much time we had, while he was just using me so he would stay alive. He said it himself that he broke it off when I said that I could save him. But Marie was convinced that he was going to leave me for her, or that he loved her. Now imagine if I saved his life only for Marie to get together with him. I did not want him to die, even though I hated him so much at that time. I was still recovering from everything, and I needed time to decide on what I was going to do next. In the end, I made the choice that I felt was right for me. I chose not to donate my kidney to him, and I wished him the best of luck with finding a donor. His family was furious when they found out and started threatening to make me donate against my will. My parents were so worried that they would do something to me that they moved me back into their house and protected me with all they had. Marie had now grown tired of begging me to put my feelings aside and save the man that she loved, but I told her she could save him if she got him another donor. Isaac passed away 6 months later from kidney failure. He was such a long way from getting a donation that he could not make it that far. His family blamed me as I knew they would, but I knew that I was not responsible for his death. He had failed to get an organ, his time had come and now he was gone. I am very detached from my feelings about his death. It is so funny how I had gone from love to utter coldness towards him. I know many people see me as a murderer though they do not say it. But I feel like they need to find themselves in my shoes before they make such wild accusations. Sickness does not excuse a person from taking responsibility for their actions. I meant what I said on the day I found out about their affair. They did not exist in my world. He died for me on that day, and I mourned him, then I moved on with my life. In his last days, he tried to send word to me because he wanted to apologize, but I could not look him in the eyes. I was already at peace with myself by the time that he was gone. I hope he found peace in the end. But his family was getting too much with the harassment and threatening to lay a charge of murder against me. I was not going to take such abuse lying down, so I got a restraining order against them. They are not allowed to come near me unless they want to visit jail. Now, here is the end of our first story. I hope you guys are enjoying my daily content. Guys, let me know what you would do if you were in the same situation. Would you save his life or let him die? Because his action can't be justified, and once a cheater will always be a cheater. I would love to read your opinion about this story in the comments section. So before moving to the final story, please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel to stay tuned with us for more awesome stories. Now, moving to our final story about how OP took revenge on her insane roommates because they made her life and the apartment a complete mess. Now story. So basically, I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment 2 months ago with Sarah and Jessica. Now, Sarah is on the lease, and Jessica is Sarah's girlfriend and isn't on the lease. I pay 50%, Sarah pays 25%, and Jessica pays 25% of the rent. Not my ideal situation, but I was desperate for roommates at the time. Fast forward 2 months, they're enormous slobs who never do anything, so I clean up after them all the time. I vacuum the living room, mop the kitchen, do dishes, etc. I buy most of the shared groceries and household items like TP, which the two of them plow through really quickly. Sarah has a cat in the apartment which is unauthorized and regularly has an unauthorized dog here too. Their rent is paid late and utilities are on the last possible day. Also, the girls smoke copious amounts of weed, and while I don't care, I ask them to be respectful enough to air out the apartment and keep the smoke out of my room. Now last week shit goes south. Sarah and Jessica overheard me bitching about having to clean up after them, and after ignoring me for a few days, sent me a long text about how rude they considered that, etc. So I let out everything that was bothering me and tell them that if they don't want to live with me, I'll gladly release them from the lease, repay the deposit, and they can go. This causes them to freak out and they tell me, "It's 2 against 1, we will force you to move." Oh hell no. I blocked them on all forms of social media and means of communication. The next day, I went down to the apartment managers and reported the 2 unauthorized pets and the unauthorized occupant. Written notices were given, and Sarah and Jessica threw them straight in the trash. I returned from a 4-day stay at my dad's and go straight to report the unauthorized occupant, Jessica, who has already once been asked to leave, and both unauthorized pets which were supposed to be gone by now. Well, at this point Sarah and Jessica are getting pissed off. Jessica screams obscenities at me anytime I enter or leave my bedroom. Twice she spent a half-hour period pounding on my door and the walls of my room. She taunts me through the door trying to get me to open up. All of this is being quietly recorded on my phone while I still haven't said a word. So yesterday, I went back down to the office to finish securing my new apartment and to report more violations. When I came home, the chain lock was locked, so I had no way to get in. This is what I had been waiting for. Jessica taunts me again on video and then slaps my hat off my head, hitting me square in the forehead with the back of her hand. Bingo. The revenge, I call the cops, rat Sarah and Jessica out for being druggies, get all their paraphernalia confiscated, and get a police report for battery. Come Monday, I'll be on my way to the prosecutor's office to press charges. The apartment managers will also be getting a copy of this report. Also, tomorrow is the last day to pay rent before it's late. Sarah and Jessica disappeared early this morning. If they don't pay rent, I'm gonna get them on the abandonment clause, finally, get them evicted, and have the locks changed. All before I move out tomorrow. It's 2 against 1, think again. Now, that concludes our video for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, let me know what's your opinion about this story, and you can also share your stories about the asshole roommates in the comments section. So before leaving, please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel to stay tuned with us for more awesome stories.